are listening to the FTWpodcast.com, where we talk about wrestling in all of its laughable glory. Here's a clip from this week's episode.
Ring of Honor, folks! Every hipster wrestling fan with a Twitter account is getting their wish, possibly. Ring of Honor is looking to follow OK Go and Franz Ferdinand, and they're going mainstream. They were purchased by Sinclair Broadcasting, who owns My Network TV and the CW, the two channels that nobody watches, along with a few syndicated stations here and there. Question for the panel, is this the turn we've been waiting for? Will we finally see Ring of Honor on national TV? Since I cut you off, Rob, I'm going to let you go first.
I think we could be on the cusp of that, yeah. I think that, obviously Sinclair Broadcasting sees an opening here. With what we've said with Vince moving WWE away from, actual wrestling stuff, and what TNA's been doing with, trying to present an alternative wrestling, we could see something else. And I actually hope that Ring of Honor does get a TV deal, because I think that'll make both Ring of Honor and TNA better, because then you will have two companies that can directly compete against each other.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I think Rob's pretty much nailed it. I think the interesting thing, though, is My Network TV and CW, they both had SmackDown previously, and it did well on their networks. They got pushed out of a lot of major markets. I don't know if we have a CW channel anymore around here, but I know we lost the My Network TV. And so if they can get into more network television homes, where people aren't paying for cable, that's brilliant for them. They could easily catch up to TNA, at least, if they get enough interest that way.
That was okay. That's something that I did want to also bring up. Kev, what do you think, real quick, before I move on to the next one?
Yeah, I think that TNA should be concerned about this, because they've had some money issues. Could possibly this be a threat to them? I would think so. I would be concerned about it, particularly if Ring of Honor goes a certain direction that maybe has a niche that people were looking for, and does some different things that people were looking for. I'm with everybody else. I think they should at least be watching their backs and be a little bit concerned, if they do get on national television and Ring of Honor tries to make something happen.
Okay, yeah. Now, so you and Joe, you think that TNA runs the risk of having some competition from Ring of Honor, let's say, in a couple years. Do you really think that Ring of Honor could push TNA into making the decisions we've been waiting for them to make for 2 years now? What do you think, Rob?
Well, like you said, I think it'll take a couple of years for Ring of Honor to really catch up and be a threat to TNA. If that happens, yeah, I could see them having to force TNA to make some decisions, because then TNA would be looking at not being number 2 of the wrestling, but dropping to number 3 for national wrestling feds, and that's something that would, I think, be hard for Bischoff and Hogan when time for their contract comes up. I think it would be hard for them to justify, well, okay, you let us slip from 2 to 3 when when the new guys showed up, and the new guys were something that almost nobody had heard of, nobody on TV had heard of before they got actually onto TV and started building a name for themselves. So I think that if Ring of Honor does start catching up to TNA, that TNA would have to make some of the decisions that we've been telling them, that we've been saying need to be made for a while now.
Okay. What about you guys? Kevin, Joe, real quick, because I got another question I want to ask you guys.
Yeah, I think there's an opportunity for them to possibly make some of these changes. I don't think they will, because I think Hogan and Bischoff are too stubborn and too set in their ways, and I honestly think they believe what they're doing is right, even though we don't. So I don't think they will, but it's possible. I'll agree that there's a chance of that happening.
I think I'm pretty much in the same boat as Kevin on this one. I think TNA, this is going to be maybe a wake-up call for TNA if Ring of Honor can get some legs on a more nationally known level. And a TV deal is the way to do it.
It's the only way to do it.
Yeah, pretty much. So, yay.
All right, so hands up, real quick. Who here has actually watched Ring of Honor? And if they were on TV, will you watch it? And should we cover it? Kevin?
I would. I've never watched it, but if they go national, I'll at least check it out. I'll give it a legitimate shot. If I would say 3 months, whether or not I think we should cover it, I think depends on the type of product they're putting out and what we think of what they're doing. If it's worth covering, I think we make the decision when it comes to it. But if the main question is would I watch it? Yes, I would watch it. I would give them a shot. But whether or not I would continue, I don't know.
Okay, Rob.
I have seen one show from Windy City Pro Wrestling, which is affiliated with Ring of Honor. That was a live show. But if it made it on the TV, yeah, I would watch it. I'd see what their talent is. I'd consider it part of my duty with the podcast. You know, we've got another pro wrestling company to watch. So, yeah, I'd check it out and see what they've got.
Okay, Joe?
I'd totally watch it. I mean, not that my DVR isn't working overtime with all the wrestling and all the other crap I watch anyway, but yeah, I'd try and squeeze it in. And if it's going to hit enough markets, I think we should cover it.
I watched Ring of Honor before it was cool, man. And
you
had
fucking trendy hipster.
with my skinny jeans and my plaid shirt and smoking clothes. Yeah, I don't know. Garvin, perfect. Garvin just said what I have always thought. Ring of Honor, I'm willing to believe they don't really have any fans. They don't have actual fans. They just have people who are sick of WWE and TNA and want to feel superior. I honestly think that's it.
You're
nailed it.
probably right.
I mean, I'm willing to bet they do have some diehard fans. I mean, because look at Daniel Bryan. I mean, yeah. But I just don't think that the vast majority of them are real fans. I think they're just mostly people who just don't like WWE and TNA and just go for Ring of Honor. That's my opinion. If they do get some national coverage and something interesting happens, we'll cover them. Who knows?
Well, you've heard our thoughts, but now we want to hear from you. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter, and even join us live every Tuesday at 8 p.m. at theftwpodcast.com.